Now, I want to preface this beforehand. We get complimented, funny that happens, for not being this console war bashing Xbox podcast. This is not a bashing episode. This is purely I think this is a conversation that PlayStation aren't innocent in this as well, but I feel as if Microsoft are a bigger criminal in this.
Hi everybody, and welcome to episode 167 of High Scores, High Stakes, the PlayStation podcast that's going to save Xbox. I'm your host as always, Mr. Luvva Luvva, and with me is my co-host.
Going to save Xbox.
We're going to save him.
What kind of witchcraft are we conjuring up here today? It is me, Tomahawk. Not something I thought we'd be doing in the High Scores, High Stakes podcast, primarily being a PlayStation podcast, but hey ho, it's side quests. We could do whatever we want.
We can, and we will do whatever we want. And if we want to save Xbox, we will save Xbox. One step at a time. Though, Tomahawk, before we get into the discussion, which is obviously
Xbox.
How do you save Xbox? It is a mess over there. The green side not having a good time as of late. So they're not. But before we get into that, let's tell the internet who we are and what we do, because as we all know, every episode is somebody's first episode.
Let's go.
So we are High Scores, High Stakes, the internet's only competitive PlayStation podcast, where myself, Tomahawk, and Cardinal Smith compete against one another in a PlayStation Gaming Challenge League table, where every week we pick a game and play a challenge in that game. The winner gets 3 points, second place gets 2 points, third place gets 1 point. If you haven't seen the season 6 finale yet, I would highly suggest listening to this episode and then going back to the season 6 finale, because it is dramatic.
A delight to do, and I'm still gassed by it, I'm not gonna lie.
And me too, mate.
Just great.
Me
Cinema.
too.
Cinema.
It's pure cinema. So it is. It's unbelievable. But yes, that's who we are. That is what we do. But Tomahawk, it's really late. And you know what that means? It means we have to get through to get to the topic of the week, basically. So you know what that means. I'm going to have to ask you, what are you playing?
Silent Hill 2 remake.
Bluebird Team.
Bluebird Team have absolutely smashed this game out of the park. It is a 10 out of 10 game. I have like very lucid memories of watching my older brother play OG Silent Hill 2 on the PS2. So I went to go and talk to him and be like, do you remember X, Y, and Z happened? And he's like, I've never played Silent Hill 2 on the PS2. I've only ever played the remake. So I'm being gaslit for starters. So I have this like fake memory now of this deep fake memory of watching my brother play Silent Hill 2. So I'm playing it through now. I've just gotten to the prison. I'm terrified. This game terrifies me. You said, I was talking to you in the group chat a couple of days ago about it as well. It's like, it's this fear that anything and everything can occur or won't occur in this game at any given time. The sound design is incredible. I just wish James had a bit more urgency and an emotional range, not of a wet sponge.
Yeah, but I suppose it's
all
where
it's all a manner of a manifestation, and that's how he is a motive.
We have no idea what's going on, nor does he. So he's just in a perpetual state of shock. Is how I always read how James reacts to everything in Silent Hill.
He just does it like it's the same as like him and Ethan Winters are just 100% chill all the time. Whatever's thrown in front of them, they just go and go, okay, I need to get a fish hook and a needle, and I'm just going to go do it, no questions asked. The sound design is absolutely insane. I get dread when I hit the continue game and that little chime, that bong kicks in. I'm like, well, they've done it perfect. I'm fearful to get through that game.
Yeah, it's a really scary game. It is a scary. It's a tense game. It hurt my back.
It's the leggy monsters that get you because they scurry away and You either can spot them go to their hiding places, or you notice them too late and they've jumped you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or they're
that's
under
so good.
tables and you don't even see them.
So good.
They come out kick in the face.
So no, I'm genuinely terrified. I left the hospital, did the little walk up the town, did a couple of little side bits, did the historical house, the tunnel down, and I'm now just about to prep myself mentally for the prison.
Yeah.
So where does that put me? Rough, like broad strokes.
About 2/3.
2/3, right?
Okay,
Okay, so we're
about
not far
2,000.
off.
There's
Then.
not much game after that. After the prison is the hotel.
Oh, okay. So yeah, Silent Hill 2.
There is a labyrinth in between.
Yeah, I did notice. I picked up the map for the prison. It's like 5 floors long.
It's not, the prison isn't as long as the hospital. The hospital's definitely the
biggest chunk of game.
The biggest area of the game.
I have a lucid memory now of a corridor of like nurses in like sheets or drapes. Is that a thing, or have I made this up?
Not that.
It sounds like some of this may have been in the Silent Hill movie now. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's definitely not a memory I have of Silent Hill 2. A corridor of, no, it sounds like the film.
It sounds like the film, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think
it does.
I remember. I'm remembering the Sean Bean
movie.
film or something. Oh God,
Christoph Gans.
It just keeps happening. And I'm like, going, when's it going to occur? And I'm like, oh no, now I know it might not. Anyway, Silent Hill 2 is living rent free in my head this last couple of days. But Luvva, tell me, what are you playing, stranger?
I've been playing Baby Steps. I've been playing Baby Steps, so I can't stop playing it. I have no idea what's going on, but
it's so dumb.
It's so dumb, but there's genius in there as well. I have no idea what's going on with it at all. That's the point. But it gets hard, like properly hard. It's difficult. It's a good game though. It's a real. I bought it specifically for the challenge for the finale. It's great. It's a great game. I'm loving it.
I did dip back into it and stuck on the portal. The portal just plays it weird and it feels wrong. I just decided to go off the beaten track and try and do a little bit more and go look for the little side treasures and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so deep. There's so much to do in that game. It's awesome. I commend it for what it was like. What to start to this huge jumps.
Yeah, it's a great game. Beyond that, I've just been playing a little bit of Alien Isolation as well on the Steam Deck.
Cool.
Beyond that, nothing. It's been a busy old time.
Very low key on the gaming front then.
Yeah, I haven't really played much. I've been spending far too much time watching the discourse around the Xbox Tomahawk.
Yeah.
So it is time. The internet is split down the middle, I think is fair to say. My Twitter algorithm is very much split down the middle of PlayStation fans celebrating the current turmoil in Xbox, and the Xbox fans are a mixture of grief and just fighting one another.
Fear for it,
It's just they're just fighting one another and fighting the PlayStation fans and shouting at professional games commentators. So I think it is time that we talk the current Xbox mess and how we're going to fix it. So let's not waste any more of our listeners' time. Let's get our toolkit out and let's fix Xbox. Okay, Tom, let's, for the first time ever on this podcast, I think we're going to talk Xbox.
I think we have to. Like, it's been a funny couple of weeks now. Like, at time of record, this is 11 days since
Summer
Games Fest weekend. Their Microsoft closed out their show, and I think everything just kind of went a bit silly and a bit bonkers. So
I don't think they're the right adjectives to describe what's going on at the minute. It is, in no uncertain terms, keeping this language as family friendly as I can. It is a great big steaming pile of garbage over there. It is a mess.
Now I want to preface this beforehand. We get complimented. Funny that happens. for not being this console war bashing Xbox podcast. This is not a bashing episode. This is purely I think this is a conversation of PlayStation aren't innocent in this as well, but I feel as if Microsoft are a bigger criminal in this space at the minute.
Yeah, history always reflects kinder on the victors in these things. Mm-hmm. And let's be clear, Xbox are third place, and they have been for a very, very, very long time. But yeah, this isn't bashing Xbox as a console rival to PlayStation. This is going to be, let's take a look at the stinking business choices that Microsoft have made when it comes to Xbox, and how Microsoft as an entity has driven Xbox into the dirt. Mm-hmm. Because that's what's happened. Let's quickly talk about our Xbox histories, Tomahawk, because I have one. You have one.
100%.
So we do. So my Xbox history is, what, Generation 6? Is that the PlayStation 2 one? Fairly sure it is. Whatever the generation of PlayStation 2 was. I didn't own a PlayStation 2 until really late on. Like super late on. I think I bought my PlayStation 2 2004.
I think I might have been about a couple of years early. I think about 2002. Not long after release, at least anyway. We got one.
Yeah, and the reason because of that was because I bought a Nintendo GameCube on launch day. And also...
Solid choice, yeah.
And also an Xbox. And I bought an Xbox quite simply because I saw Halo and I was like, I need to play that game and I need to play it right now. And I remember going out and buying my Xbox. I think I got a pretty good deal on my Xbox, my original Xbox. Got the Xbox, an extra controller, which was the big Duke controller, I think it's called, the big massive thing.
Okay, yeah.
I got it with Sega GT, Jet Set Radio Future, and Halo Combat Evolved, off the price of $229.99. Unbelievable value.
Wow, okay.
Unbelievable value. And then I moved on to PlayStation 2, and then the Xbox 360 came out. I bought the Xbox 360 about 6 months after launch because I was in Extravision. Just a reminder, we're a Northern Irish podcast. Blockbuster Video for the rest of the world. But I went into Extravision and they had Gears of War showing on the TVs on the roof. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I need to play that game. So I walked out of Extravision, going in to rent a couple of DVDs, walked out with an Xbox 360, Project Gotham Racing 3, an extra controller, Gears of War.
I love it. Yeah,
and walked out the happiest man in the world.
I'm not too far off from that. I think it was Gears of War that pulled me into Xbox 360. I was PlayStation 2, so through and through, just did all of the hits that way. Gears, I think we did back, it must have been about, what year did Gears of War come out?
06.
Okay, so like maybe about 07 I would have been playing it then. So trying to like 16 maybe playing this game. Mm-hmm. Me and a friend, we split screen co-opted it. We played the whole campaign like at a house party all night. That game was like the epitome of like realism in terms of graphics.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah. And just this like balls to the wall action adventure game. I like this action shooter game even. Gears of War, it was Call of Duties, it was like, and Halo 3 and Halo Reach at that point as well.
What
like,
a time to be alive.
Eating great as an Xbox player, really. It was one of those, everyone had a 360, seldom, I think because of PS3 at that point had just priced a lot of people out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and it came out a year after as well.
It was a very user-friendly, very approachable console. Mm-hmm. As well. So I had a great time with my 360, and I think nearly every person I know primarily used their 360.
Yeah, I would say that generation, I was primarily, an Xbox 360. But I was an Xbox player rather than PlayStation. I had a PlayStation 3. I got that really late on for The Last of Us. But that generation was my Xbox arc. Really.
Exactly, yeah.
After that, Sherry bought an Xbox One played that for a little bit, mostly Titanfall, and then that was it. Never bought an Xbox One, never wanted an Xbox One. And then the Xbox Series console, I think by that stage of the game, it was too late to get back anyone like us who
the Naughty Dog, like the Last of Us people who moved to PS3, PS4, that kind of thing, and then it was no looking back for us.
I think Xbox and Microsoft realized that, because I remember Phil Spencer came out and said that, you know, they're not going to try to out console Sony because they lost the most important generation to lose, which was the Xbox One, PlayStation 4 generation, which rings true, because I built a digital library. We all did. But yeah, so that brings us all, that's our history of Xbox. So we are not bashing Xbox. We are going to bash business decisions here, and we're going to try to pull together some sort of plan to save this ailing console development company. Okay, let's take a look at the timeline, because 2026 has been a year. We're only 6 months in. It has been a year for Xbox. Okay, so let's take it back to the very beginning. Late November last year, Phil Spencer, Sarah Bond, Matt Booty do a podcast world tour, and Sarah Bond drops a bombshell that they are in active R&D for the next generation of Xbox, which she said is going to be the most powerful home console ever made, with no closed garden, effectively confirming the rumor that Xbox was going to have Steam.
That's a full Steam integration, yeah.
Okay. And that they were really looking forward to the Xbox's 25th anniversary, because this year is the 25th anniversary of Xbox. Fast forward to February, Sarah Bond's gone, Phil Spencer's gone. They are just...
Which felt like
released.
Overnight, just like bombshells. This felt like kind of... They'd set this plateau to launch a revamp, an anniversary, whatever you want to call it. And I remember that in the group chat, we were talking about this, and they were like, yeah, they're gone. It was effective immediately.
Yeah. There was no, let's give them a month. I think Phil Spencer was allowed to stay on as a consultant.
Advisory positions, yeah.
I think until April, I think it was. But yeah, so they are removed, effectively removed. I think they tried to frame it as Phil Spencer is retiring and Sarah Bond is moving on. And they replaced Phil Spencer then with Asha Sharma, who came over from an AI sort of development company.
Oh, okay. I don't know her background, actually.
So she's moved over. She did, I can't remember what it's called, but it was like an AI shopping platform type thing. And then one of the last things Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond did before they left was they increased the price of Game Pass. Do you remember this?
By
50%.
50%.
50%, because it was $19.99 in America, and they bumped it up to $29.99, like literally overnight. So April rolls round. Asha Sharma is on her talking on Twitter every day to random Xbox fanboys. April, she declares that they were reducing the price of Xbox Game Pass to $23.99, which is a pretty significant price decrease, but still
raising the price from the original point.
$4 more a month than what it was 6 months ago, effectively. And then they also announced, I don't know if it was the same day or a week later, that Call of Duty was no longer going to be an Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, not a day one.
Yeah, it was going to be
had to purchase a full game. Yeah,
it was going to be a year later. And then nothing happens. There's all this rumor mills that Xbox are bringing back exclusives, and the Xbox, like Helix, I think they call it, was going to be...
It was the code word for it, yeah.
And it was going to be the most powerful console ever made, and people were speculating on the price. People were thinking it was going to be like £1,000 or £1,200 or upwards. But then that was it until June. June rolls round. Summer Games Fest rolls round. We watched that conference live on twitch.tv. And I think it's fair that it was a good show. It didn't blow anybody's socks off, because it always had, of course, it's Microsoft's show, always has to end in Call of Duty, always has to have Fallout 76, always has to have Sea of Thieves. And those games for me just suck the air out of the room. They're boring. They've been around forever.
They've been established and known entities. Like there are other games that could easily fill that void.
Yes.
Call of Duty does nothing at this day and age anymore. They're just they come back and say, "Oh, we're grounding it, so you're not getting silly Family Guy skins anymore." Like that was the announcements in and around Summer Games Fest, is that it's going to be the Call of Duty that you remember, but we don't need to see gameplay trailers. But that's what they do. That's what Microsoft.
That's what they do. Yeah. That's of course what they do. But this was June the 7th. I think you said that at the start. June the 7th, and throughout that show, they peppered in some wee good news for everybody. Here's Gears of War E-Day, exclusively on Xbox and PC. And here is Clockwork Revolution, exclusive on
also
Xbox.
Exclusive, yeah.
Also on PC. Every other game is coming out for everything. And I don't know if you've seen this, but at the end of the show, when the stream went down, Asha Sharma and Matt Booty came out on stage. Did you see this?
I saw it after the fact.
Yes. So
only
basically,
a little tiny piece of it.
Basically, they come out on stage and they give it the big I am, saying how the next 100 days are really important for Xbox, but this is just the first step in re-establishing Xbox as a true powerhouse in the console and gaming space, and how they're so excited to bring everyone on this journey with them, and then gifted everyone in the audience with a guest pass, a fan pass, the new 25th anniversary Xbox Series X console.
The clear green one, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that I remember you said is a ugly ass console.
It really is ugly, but don't know what. The more I see it, it's like it's pretty cool too, but it's ugly. My memory of the Xbox isn't the emerald green one. I think that was a US exclusive, and I think this is part of the problem with Xbox. They are the only region where they're really popular is America. They've never been able, apart from the 360,
really which crack Europe as such.
The 360 definitely did break Europe. It cracked Europe for sure, but the original Xbox did not. The Xbox One certainly didn't, and they're too centric on the US market because it's their most successful one. I get it; it's one of the biggest markets on planet Earth for games. But yeah, so they finished their show. The last game they showed, to my memory, other than Call of Duty, was they showed a trailer for the third game in the Senua series.
Mm-hmm, yes.
It's just called Senua. And that trailer ends with a date. And the date was 2027. Okay, so that was June the 7th.
It was a very good trailer, to be fair, as well.
It was, it's okay. You know what you're getting. It's a known quantity, that game series. I think it's Ninja Theory. So that was June the 7th. On June 10th, I can't remember who leaked this, but it might have been Jason Schreier, got an email from a contact within Xbox. And so this is 3 days after that showcase. 3 days. And the email was along the lines of, that's our first 100 days gone, which is try to rebuild, public sentiment with the brand. Let's get them on board first. The next 100 days are going to be tough. And they called it in the email that Jason Schreier had, a hard Xbox reset. And then started talking about how they've spent $20 billion on content and acquisitions and all this business over the last 5 years, and their revenue had dropped. Now, you might remember, Tom, I think we talked about this last year when we were doing our State of the Industry. Microsoft imposed a needed profit margin for Xbox of 30%, but in that email, Xbox in the last year made 3%.
Oof.
Which is a long way away.
Huge gap, yeah.
Once that got leaked, all of a sudden the internet was ablaze with rumors and leaks from insiders. And there was reports that there was going to be like hundreds, if not thousands, of layoffs within Microsoft. And then the most concrete sort of rumor broke on June the 15th, 8 days after their
this was
showcase.
I remember this was absolutely insane because it's like 4 studios
So there's
Or on the chopping block now.
three named studios. So the three studios are Double Fine, which is Tim Schafer, Compulsion Games, who made South of Midnight, and then the third one was Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory, who make Senua, who
Insane.
8 days earlier, they were announcing their new game with a release window date. And then the story gets better because the very next day,
because of course, why wouldn't it?
after that story broke, the very next day, Jason Schreier, I love Jason Schreier, by the way. He has so many contacts everywhere. Nothing happens without him knowing about it.
He's like the gaming Fabrizio
Louis
Romano,
Theroux. So he really is. But the next day, June the 17th, Jason Schreier says that their turbulence inside Xbox has led to those three named developers, Ninja Theory, Double Fine, Compulsion Games, were in active negotiations with Microsoft to be allowed to keep their team together and just become independent. Kind of like what Toys for Bob did.
Yeah.
And then it leaked. It gets wilder.
But this is the laugh. Like they're saying, like even if they spin off, they don't have the funding to remain at the same time, so they're going to have to lay off anyway. So
they'll lay off people.
If Ninja Theory do spin off and become an independent studio again, effectively again, they're going to have to lay off about half their staff because they'll not afford to. They don't have Microsoft bankrolling. So
and then, which is funny you should say that, they don't have the money to exist without Microsoft. Yeah. Jason Schreier also reported on the 18th of June that the Senua trailer that was shown on the 7th of June was put into the show by Microsoft management in order to show off what Ninja Theory are capable of in order to attract investment.
Nah, that's not what you use the showcases for, surely. That's
It gets better.
No.
It gets better. Today, this very day, I think it was Jason Schreier, again, said that the Ninja Theory management had no idea. None. That was the plan all along. I don't know if it was the plan all along or if Microsoft... Because
we're going by leaks and insider info or what insider info can be trusted, really. But
I am going to do some on-the-ground reporting here, right? I want to check something because the last I checked, the Senua trailer was the least viewed trailer that Microsoft showed at that showcase. Yeah, massively. It's only got 11 days after that's been shown, it's only got 225,000 views on YouTube. Now, I don't know if Microsoft went, let's just test the waters. If it gets good reaction, then we'll keep it and we'll keep it go. We'll keep them until at least that game releases and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then they've seen the mediocre response to that game as a whole. No one was really like blown away because it looks great, but all Ninja Theory games look great.
Is it a prequel though as well? Like, that's the thing. It didn't feel or strike me as a sequel or anything like that. I've never played a Senua game. I know they've moved over. This is kind of why I think that this works as a good example, because this is a known entity. It's Senua 2 moved to PlayStation.
It's on PlayStation now. Yeah.
It moved over quite recently, so I imagine this one would have been this is likely to be a multi-platform release then as well. So it's not a game I feel as if I dip in. It's a very beautiful looking game. Mm-hmm. Just not for me.
But that's it. The Senua one was a very good game. Well, it wasn't a very good game. It was a very good story. Really great sound design, like superbly good. But it was a wee bit boring gameplay wise. It wasn't very engaging.
It's very one-on-one combat, isn't it? They don't go much beyond that. I think that seems to be what most of the internet talk about.
A lot of forced walking, and it's very slow. It's plodding. It's not very engaging a game, but the story is very good, and the sound design is incredible. Sound design is one of the best It's one of the best designed games sound wise as I've ever played. But yeah, so this is this all comes. I don't know about you, Tom, but to me, this all just smacks of Microsoft or Xbox being very reactive. Like, I'm not getting the impression that Microsoft have any strategy for the Xbox brand. I don't get the impression that Ashish Sharma and the current management of Xbox have any idea of what they are.
It's weird because what was the big campaign? It must have been either 6 months to a year ago. This is an Xbox. This is an Xbox, and it's like everything but the console. It's so your handhelds, your ROGs, your Steam Deck, effectively your TV, your remote, and stuff like that. So it was just like that was your phone. That was the whole, and I kind of liked that, and it pushed Game Pass, and it pushed like this kind of like an idea of like GeForce Now, that kind of thing. It could work everywhere and play everywhere. That's a cool premise. To maybe brand it as this is an Xbox is maybe not the smartest of moves.
Yeah.
Because sell the hardware is what sells, like, really, at the end of the day. Maybe have your handhelds as an accessory and do that kind of stuff.
Does Xbox hardware sell?
Oh, I think I would argue that physical, like, gaming console hardware sells maybe across the board. I think Xbox just do it in a really niche way.
I mean, yes, yeah. I think that's the best. I don't know the exact sales figures. I could get them, but this is not that type of podcast. All right. I think the original Xbox sold something like 25 million units. Okay. And then the Xbox 360 is by far their most successful console, about 86 million. And then the Xbox One sold somewhere in the region. The Xbox One's where this gets fuzzy, because Microsoft used to release sales data until 2017. And then in 2017, they just assumed Xbox data into Microsoft. And then they report their earnings as Xbox division, so that they don't tell you any individual numbers. So we
broad
don't
strokes
know,
kind of stuff.
We have no idea how many consoles the Xbox One sold, but estimates are somewhere between 40 and 50 million. And then Xbox Series consoles, the current estimate is somewhere between 30 and 40 million.
Yeah.
So if their most successful console
is 20 years old.
Is 20 years old at this point, 21 years old, because it came out in 2005. It's 21 years old, and their most successful console came last in that generation. Last. Because the Wii sold, how many the Wii sold? 100. And the PlayStation 3 sold like 89 million. Like, their most successful console, and they still finished last.
It's a weird one, because, like, I don't know, just with this last 12 months or so, they were going through this meta of like, everything is going to be cloud gaming, and that's where we're going to be at. And we don't want this console war. So they're going to negotiate Gears of War, going to come to the PlayStation. Halo was announced that they were getting a ground up remake of Combat Evolved, and we're going to get that. And because even Combat Evolved was showcased, and it was the little, this is shown on a PlayStation 5
on PlayStation 5 Pro, which is in an Xbox show is
genius.
Really,
I mean, like, it's pushing the nuclear button on your own brand, like. But anyway, then with this shift of like power, everyone left. Your new girl came in and took the reins, and she kind of tried to connect with the fan base and the audience, and maybe to her detriment a little bit too much here.
Far too much.
Have they done this like 180 to go, well, actually, we're going to back our hardware. We're now going to give away all these new consoles. We're going to push and talk about how this new console is going to push everything. It's going to be included with Steam and all this kind of integration and stuff. And now we're going to reignite the console wars, and you're not getting Gears of War E-Day, and you're not getting potentially Halo 2 and 3, and you're not getting Clockwork Revolution and stuff as well. It's a mad identity crisis, it feels like, at the minute.
Yeah, it doesn't know what it is.
We both want to cherry pick from either side of each management regime.
If someone asked me to describe Xbox in a couple of words, I don't know if I could. If someone asked you to describe Nintendo in 2 words, games company. Someone asked you to describe PlayStation in 2 words, games company.
Yeah.
If someone asked you to describe Xbox in 2 words, I don't think I could.
It's the Microsoft machine. Like Xbox doesn't really exist anymore. It's like under the guise of a tech mogul. That's really kind of
Yeah, because Microsoft, Xbox as a entity has, you've spoke about this. It has the hardware business that has proven time and time again that it's probably not going to beat PlayStation, really.
yeah.
So it has a hardware division. They are the second biggest games publisher in the planet after all these acquisitions.
Stands to reason, yeah. I mean,
They're
Activision
also-
alone is probably takes them over the line. Like,
They're also a tech company with, they're one of the market leaders in AI and cloud. And they're also a streaming service. They're also a subscription service provider. Now, to my eyes, I think it was Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs said that any successful company doesn't have to consistently release new products to be successful. They should have a core product and build around it.
yeah.
But Microsoft have branched out Xbox so thinly that I don't know what Xbox is anymore. Is it a games console? Is it a streaming service? Is it a subscription service? Is it a cloud-based service? Is it something I can do on my phone? Do I have to buy their hardware? No. Can I play all their games I want on my PC? Yes. I don't know what it is. And I think if you pressed Satya Nadella or Asha Sharma, what is Xbox? I don't think they'll be able to tell you what it is.
Have a real locked-in answer, yeah.
No one knows what this company is anymore. This whole push at the showcase of we're bringing exclusives back, I don't think is a viable business strategy for Xbox anymore. I think that ship hasn't just long sailed, but it's got into trouble and it has sank to the middle of the ocean.
Exclusivity has been dead for a while. I know, like we talked, like PlayStation kind of came back recently and said that they are locking in their exclusives to Sony. They're not going to push them to PC day one either, because it's a loss leader effectively.
Yeah.
That's kind of where it ends on PlayStation's exclusivity stuff. Like they know that you need to share the wealth, you need to share the love, otherwise these games can't thrive. But you still need to have somewhat of a core, flagship games, really.
You need to keep something. Even when Sony were putting on PlayStation games onto PC, there was quite a few that never made that jump. Gran Turismo never made it. Astrobot never made it. I know there are 2 titles. Demon's Souls Remake never made it either.
Yeah.
There's a good few games that never made that jump. Microsoft threw everything on everything. Literally threw all their games everywhere.
They've lost what an identity of an exclusive, I think, is. And they've kind of, like, especially when you look into this. So the state of play occurred on the 2nd of June. The 30th of May, I think Sony were told, you're not getting E-Day.
Yep.
You're not getting Clockwork Revolution.
Not the trailer.
You're not getting the trailer. You also may not get Halo 2 and 3 remakes when they come around.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is kind of just in this bid to claw back something to call it an exclusive title.
Yeah, I just don't.
It's going to burn a lot of bridges, really.
I don't see this. I mean, it's only 2 games. Let's be frank here. There was only 2 console exclusives.
Though that's the thing. It's the timing that is more.
It was a whiplash decision.
Yeah,
it was a whiplash decision. We need something to appease our hardcore fans. I know, exclusive games, but they have released that genie from the bottle, and you can't put it back in. Once it's out there, you can't put it back. I don't think Clockwork Revolution is not going to drive people to the Xbox.
It's a brand new IP. That's dangerous to go.
Yeah, we're going to hang all of our coats on you. You are it. And let's be frank. As much as I loved Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, I don't know if I would class Gears of War as a console selling franchise.
It was like I particularly from remember for the 360, it was never one that was like Halo to me. Xbox is synonymous with Halo.
But
Gears
even
of War just was like a byproduct and of like that kind of ilk.
I mean, Gears of War made me buy the 360. It made you buy the 360 because
Yeah.
it looked incredible. But the last couple of games haven't been great. In fact, the last 3 games haven't been great. I'm talking about that. Was it Judgment, the last one on the 360? And you had Gears of War 4, which is pretty much not hated, but it's mostly,
Gears 5 was the last mainstay, so
Yes.
they've had like 3, 4, and 5, and they've had another 2 spin-off games sort of around that. So you've
Yeah.
got
So it's
7
not like
in the main canon, and then E-Day will be the 8th mainline game.
and they don't really move. Like, I don't think Gears of War, and I certainly don't think Clockwork Revolution is going to bring players back. It's not going to make players drop
Not in their droves.
£700 on the Series X. It's not. And I just don't think pulling away. I think what will happen is Microsoft, since Game Pass, which was 2017, have trained their players to subscribe to this. Don't buy your games. Give us your, well, we start off at $10 a month. Give us your $10 a month and play any game you want for as long as you want. And then all of a sudden, in 2026, people not buying games is a huge problem for Xbox.
But this is the thing. This is what really, like, we talk about things that kill air and kill, like suck the vacuum out of the room. Every game on that showcase ended with that stupid, I'm going to put it in the edit here for everyone else, that play it day one with Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have never been sick of a type font more than I have been of that.
I mean,
and I think Game Pass for a lot, that price, take pricing, whatever, because Sony's bad with the pricing on PlayStation Plus as well. I would argue you still get more on Game Pass in terms of day one releases, and they're so strong for their day one releases. It shoved so much shoved down your throat. Now it puts me off getting a Game Pass subscription.
I still think Game Pass is really great value, even at $29.99. I think it's great value. You can play
for the following choice paralysis. Yes, it's very good value.
I think it's good. I think it's good value, but what's a good value proposition for the customer doesn't always mean it's the best business decision, and it's proven that way. I mean, Sean Layden, before he left PlayStation, came out and said that, as far as he can see, he couldn't make the math work on Game Pass. And he left PlayStation in 2018, which was infant years for Game Pass. And he said he doesn't understand how it's sustainable long term. And he's proven to be correct.
I think that shows why Call of Duty have been dropped straight away, because what's Call of Duty? It's a £70 game, isn't it? It's like it's a $70-$80 game at that point.
That sells tens of millions of copies every single year, and for some reason Xbox thought it was a great idea to give it away free, basically.
And online cosmetics, skins, pay to win, effectively. That on top of base game, on top of deluxe early access titles as well. So, like,
I think before we get into how are we fixing this, I think it's really important to note that Xbox's most successful game of recent years is Forza Horizon 5, which reportedly sold something like 13 million copies on PlayStation.
Wild.
So how could you leave that money on the table is what I'm going to ask Microsoft management. Let's roleplay. You, Tomahawk, are now CEO of Xbox, and Satya Nadella has given you 9 months to save the brand. How are you doing it?
The first thing, I'm going to spend a little bit of money and hire an actual bloody media team.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they have one.
Honestly, though, no. Well, they probably do. They're not doing their job. If they have to have the CEO come out and drove through X and go, we're doing this and we're going to be seen being cool and like, we know what you want and we're going to address that issue. You are putting yourself on that chopping block.
Yeah, it's not just her. It's not just her. It's also
she's not the only person who does it.
The chief strategy officer got himself in some hot water by retweeting one of the most rabid Xbox fanboys on X. The tweet was something along the lines of, Ashish Sharma should be quiet and not be allowed to do any more interviews. Give it to your fella Ball. Let the men do the talking. He liked it
and he
retweeted it. And then about 2 days later, he was like, "Oh, whoops, my finger slipped. I didn't mean to retweet that."
But like, fair enough. To make these big praises and speeches and stuff at a shareholder at a conference, like, open with something like that. Don't be muddying yourselves in with like finer details and the internet gaming community, because you'll never ever satisfy and you'll only dig yourself into these impossible holes, really. So I think there just needs to be like, and Sony to a degree do it quite well. They let their studios do their talking and the executives kind of stay at arm's reach. There needs to be a bit of a disconnect from the higher ups who don't, let's face it, the higher ups don't know what's going on, nor do they care.
No. I think it's really important for the management of Xbox to stop engaging completely. Stop it. Because learn from Phil Spencer's mistakes of, he would say one thing in a podcast or on Twitter or wherever he was saying it, and then 6 months later the plans have changed, and then you all you're doing is feeding fuel to be.
There's a reason people carpet bomb Phil Spencer's Fallout 76 camp. just saying.
Yeah.
There's a reason that continually happens.
So how else are you saving Xbox? So you're telling the management, no more Twitter. What now?
Drop exclusives
completely.
Pick one franchise to be kind of like your main, like, who realistically is Halo Xbox's main mascot, or do they have to rebrand? Like, do they have to now? Are they too deep with this? It's going multi-platform, and do Xbox need
You're
to?
The CEO. You tell me.
Like, Gears of War has come on with reasonable success to PlayStation. We can say that.
I was looking this up.
Reasonable figures.
I was looking this up. Okay, in preparation for this episode, I was looking up Xbox game sales on PlayStation. Forza 5 is miles ahead of everything. Mm-hmm. Sea of Thieves is the second best-selling game. Gears of War, Microsoft don't release sales. They just don't. But it looks somewhere along the lines of Gears of War Reloaded,
yeah.
Sold on all platforms about 1.5 million copies. And according to Circana, which is the American statistical group that track like sales data and stuff like that, they said about 70% of the sales of Gears of War was PlayStation. But that's only about 700,000 copies.
So that's a lot of people who maybe
trying it out for the first time.
Either tried it out for the first time, or nostalgia buyers.
Yeah.
Who have played it and then got their 8 hours and ditched it. So it's kind of a bit of a rock and a hard place. Do you double down on this renege of, we'll give you our big hitters and keep them in the Microsoft Xbox jail, I suppose? Or do you do what Sony did and package this lovely new mascot and kind of make them a driving force in whatever genre that they think might work or might sell? I know that they're locking in OD with Hideo Kojima, which is quite smart, a very smart move, I think. It's not going to be a console driver. But it's small steps in the right direction. I would be bold enough to say, go the Astrobot route. Find a plucky little mascot that will buy consoles or that will attach itself to consoles. I think we are kind of at the point now, because even Halo is the most pre-ordered one of the most pre-ordered games
I saw this.
on PlayStation Store at the minute as well.
Yep.
So I think that ship has now sailed. You have, as you said, you've let Pandora out of that box in terms of Halo now. They're going to see a lot of money from that, surely.
Oh yeah, of course.
A Halo 2 and 3 remake as well would equally line Microsoft's pockets to pay these studios to do more games like this. So I think a harsh truth would be to reinvent yourself. Just make a knockoff Astrobot platformer and just guise it in see-through green.
Okay. Robo Man.
You know what? Enough people would buy Robo Man. I would.
I'd be surprised if someone didn't.
Just a big green oblong with legs and an antenna.
Space Automaton. That's the name. We're available for consultation.
Ugh, grim. Right. Ditch Twitter.
Yep.
Rebrand with a new mascot.
Okay.
Stop making Call of Duty a thing. We know what it is.
Yeah.
Like I think that's my 3-pronged approach right now. I yield the rest of my time.
Okay. So your plan is stop communicating on Twitter, make an Astrobot ripoff, and stop showing Call of Duty at game shows.
Stop showing Call of Duty because you know it's going to work. Fair enough. You scrapped it from Game Pass. Do a tier where Game Pass you can limit it to a campaign or something like that. But if you want to buy it, stop being so cheap. If you're going to buy Call of Duty, if you're one of those people who's buying Call of Duty every year, that's a consumer problem. That's not a Microsoft problem at this point. But stuff like that, like taking these big titles off day one, makes sense because they will drive more sales and whatnot as well. More reboots and remasters, actually, that's what I would like to see. I think that has shown we're knee deep in the age of it now that works. There's tons of IPs. There's tons of IPs in the PlayStation library we would like to see remastered. There's tons in the Microsoft Xbox annals. I'm pretty sure. I think would do great. Like Vanquish. Where's a remaster of Vanquish? Where's a remaster of Quantum Break? Where's a remake of Quantum Break? There's a few bits like that you could like be bringing back old IPs and stuff rather than, you know, as much as I like a new IP. We're in this era that remakes and remasters is what sells the most. Just feed into it.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff like that you could do with remasters or remakes or whatever you want to call them. There's tons of games. There was that one, can't remember what it was called, Tom. I'm hoping you will remember. There was a game on Xbox Original, and it was it was designed with Xbox Live in mind. I think it was the second Xbox Live game. It was a boat combat game, kind of like Twisted Metal, but you were boats. I want to say it was called like Bloody Waters or something along those lines. That game,
Bloodwake.
Is that it could be that, you know,
a naval combat game released in 2001. It was a Xbox launch title.
No, it was an Xbox Live title, so it would have come out after Halo 2, so it would have been out 2004. So it was a great game, and if they got a remaster of that or a new one in that, I'm pretty sure the hardcore Xbox gamers would want to play it. It doesn't have to be a big budget title. AA, get it out there, always on, you know, just a online multiplayer game.
That's it. There was Galleon, I think was another one as well. No, there seems to be a couple of them in and around that area, but I kind of get what you mean. A big sort of live service game.
You talked about like an Astrobot style game. All right, people will laugh at me about this. Blinks, the Time Sweeper. Not very well remembered by most gamers. The gamers that played it, it was fairly decent, and you could do something with that character.
Yeah,
you could do something with that character. You also have games like 100 to 1. Why not bring that back? Because that was great. Do you know what I mean? There's so many games out there. Get Rare to make a new Banjo-Kazooie. Why not? They own the rights to that franchise. Get them on it. A Banjo-Kazooie kart racer, whatever. You make games that people have been asking for years. Do you know what I mean? Right now, Xbox is known for Gears of War, Forza, Halo. And all three of them appear on
they've all
PlayStation.
been ported over basically now. I mean, you could, like, I'd be happy if you could let them just take the helm on a, like, I know that we're never really getting Prince of Persia a remake, but let them hold on to it.
They're never. It's a Ubisoft game.
I know it's it's not Microsoft's problem to have really, but you know they have an archive of games that haven't been touched in 20 years.
Yeah. There's those games. Fusion Frenzy. They had that Wipeout style futuristic space racer, Quantum Redshift, I think it was called. They have all these games that people will have wanted for forever. Do it. You'll laugh at me. Doritos Crash Course. Internet loves it. Do a new one. Do you know what I mean? Just call it US Ninja Warrior or whatever you want to call it, because that's basically what it was. But there's loads of things they can do. If it was me, Tomahawk, okay?
Let's hear it.
If I was appointed tomorrow as head of Xbox, here's what I would do. First things first, same as you, stop engaging with the internet trolls. The loudest voices you will hear on the internet are the minority of people. Never try to appease the vocal minority. Always go for the bigger market share, which is the quiet people, the casual gamers. Get them on board. The second thing I'd do, as I say, no more of this nonsense. Here's your social media team. Here's what they're not allowed to talk about. You're not talking to anyone unless it is approved by me, and I'm not approving anything. I'm not telling them that, but I'm not talking to anybody. They are remaining quiet, and we will strategize in the background. And if the plans change, the public does not need to know about the original plan nor the new one. They will know the plan through our marketing department, and I would hire a whole new marketing department. And then when all that is happening, I will tell all of my they have thousands of people working for them making games. What game do you want to make? What game do you want to make?
A creative license, yeah.
We have Game Pass. And one thing we have learned in the 10 to 15 years of streaming services, the one thing that kills subscription services is a lack of continuous content. You need to churn content out. So split all of your teams into two. One large team for your flagpole titles.
Yep.
And a small team to do a passion project, and those people rotate out. Once one passion project gets finished, it goes on the Game Pass. If it's good, great. If it's not, okay, we'll make the next one better.
Still on Game Pass, and you can learn from your mistakes. But then this stops, like, it's a weird example. This is really weird for me to say this, but this stops teams breaking away and then having to like break away from the constraints to make like a Clair Obscur, that kind of way. If you allow that to happen in-house, fair enough, you may get a bit more constraint on shareholders and that kind of stuff, like, but as you say, if you can allow and dedicate like a 40-person team to go and do a collaborative passion project free of constraints, like even how, if you throw this back to how Resident Evil I'm going to bring Dino Crisis in. Let's bring Dino Crisis back into this conversation then, because why the hell not? We haven't done it in a hot minute. Resident Evil 3 is happening. Let Dino Crisis happen and bubble in the background and test stuff. Use it as a springboard for your flagship games. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And it does. It stops these like Ubisoft is a different conversation, but it stops these people leaving Ubisoft and then like allowing Sandfall to happen and then creating a great game that Ubisoft could have had if they backed it. Yeah, exactly.
An all-timer. Next thing I would do is I would try to harbor like a creative mindset in it by having like, I don't know, like an annual game jam, which is just a weekend, buying together a game demo, and then everyone else, you're competing with the other developers. Yeah, just do that. Like, what ideas do we have? Let's see if it works. Let's see what doesn't work and all that sort of good stuff. Next thing I would do is I would absolutely make everybody on my management team look at the past. I put out a tweet today saying that this has a reek of Sega. This whole Xbox scenario reeks
Funny you
of
should say that.
Sega.
We were talking about this in Hook and Leoric. We're doing a co-stream on Resident Evil 5. We did sort of shoot the breeze on this Xbox thing at the minute. We did kind of touch on the fact that this is getting whiffs of
it reeks.
Yeah, like
It
there's
reeks
a
of
lot
Sega.
of history repeating itself here and no lessons learned.
And this is key. So if we go back in time to 2001, Sega were in this exact same predicament that Xbox find themselves in. They had a piece of hardware that just had a fairly good start and then tapered off because the competitor just started stomping it into the ground. And Sega tried to do pretty much what Xbox have tried to do here in a slightly different way. Is Sega were like, okay, we can make games quicker than Sony, and we can make them higher quality than what Sony could do in the same time frame. So Sega with the Dreamcast started pumping out all of these games, and a lot of the games they pumped out are absolute all-timers. But it didn't help Sega sell their console.
Aye.
And Phil Spencer, a year or two ago, was asked about make better games. And he says, it does not matter. If we came out with 5 Game of the Year contenders every single year, people will still be playing their PlayStation. The reason he said that is because he knew that's what Sega did. That's what Sega did. And people played their PlayStation 2 because people didn't care. And this is getting... We are beyond the point where the vast majority of hardcore gamers have their platform of choice, be it Nintendo, PC, PlayStation, or Xbox. And people are so invested in that platform that you are not going to get them to
you're not dislodging them now
to go to Xbox. Those days are over, because that only worked because when a new games console came out, none of your games went with you. That is not the case anymore.
With this digital age now, you can just
this reeks of library. It reeks of Sega, a company struggling hardware, releasing to Xbox credit, the games of the last 2 years have been better than probably ever for them, but it's just not been enough. Sega were smart enough to know
when they were done, basically.
We need to pull a plug, because if we don't pull a plug, we're going to be gone. And I think back to my lifetime when it comes to games. Sega is obviously the biggest company I've ever seen come out of the hardware market, but they're not the only ones. They're far from it. Atari, when they pulled out of gaming completely, let's look at the pattern. They had an Atari Jaguar, an underselling, it was a games console that didn't move units, and they tried to throw games on it. They got Doom, I think Quake was rumored to be on it. They tried to put all these games out, didn't work. You had 3DO, a really impressive piece of hardware, like a super impressive piece of hardware, but they couldn't shift it. People didn't care because the PlayStation, or the Nintendo PlayStation, was rumored at the time that came out. The CDI, again, fairly impressive piece of thing. Too expensive.
You have a very, very in-depth knowledge of graveyard gaming.
Do you know what I mean? The CDI, a really impressive piece of kit. No one cared. It was too expensive and no one cared. What does that sound like? If it was me managing Xbox, I would make all my executives learn the pattern of what happens if you are pig-headed to not recognize that your hardware business is going to drag you with it. The only games company I've ever seen come out of the games industry and survive a failed piece of hardware, or in Sega's case, 2 consecutive failed hardwares. Microsoft, the Xbox One was a failure. Not like by traditional sense, but 40 to 50 million consoles compared to 120 million of your competitor. And how many the Switches sell, I have no idea, 160 nearly.
Something like that, yeah.
It failed compared to your next two competitors. And then you follow that up with another console that looks like it's failing. This is Sega. There's further parallels to this. 2 consecutive home console failures. Sega also tried to bolster their company by putting together like additional pieces of hardware. Like they had the 32X, the Mega CD, they had all these things that were just throwing everything. The Sega Nomad, and none of them stuck. I haven't heard a single the Xbox ROG Ally X. I haven't heard a single. This is selling great or amazing. So I can only assume
you would not know it exists, but also when you pitch it at £1,000, it's as expensive. It's more expensive.
Yeah, this whole situation reeks of Sega. And Sega in 2002 knew the only way they were going to save the company was by pulling the plug on hardware. And I don't see a world where Microsoft putting out another home console is going to save the company. It will drag them down.
They're chasing. This is the problem. Like the Switch 2, it will continue to make sales. The PS5 and the PS5 Pro will continue to gradually keep making sales.
Yeah. I just don't see a world where an Xbox console sells 100 million.
But this is it. If you have Game Pass, you're going to just be playing PC. This is a trend that I've spotted on, particularly with people that we socialize with. Then I suppose the real question I need to ask you, would you, as CEO of Microsoft Xbox division, whatever you want to call it, would you pull the plug on hardware?
Yes.
And focus on streaming and development?
I think Xbox needs to choose a lane. They need to choose a lane, and I don't think the lane of hardware leads anywhere but Microsoft absorbing Xbox into them and making them cease as a company. I don't see hardware pulling Xbox out of the hole it's in. No. I don't. They have to pick a lane. You can't be a subscription provider, a streaming operator, and a hardware operator at the same time. Something has to give, and you follow the money. How much does it cost to research, source the materials? I think I read somewhere that RAM and SSD prices are 500% more than what they were 6 years ago. So
that's about right, man.
And you're going to pay Jason Ronald however much he's paid. And I don't want to see people lose their job. I think Jason Ronald is clearly a hugely intelligent guy. I would pull him into the infrastructure team. I would pull the entire hardware team and distribute them across the infrastructure. Make our infrastructure, make our servers run better, make our servers better than anyone else's. Use what you know about hardware and make our infrastructure better than everyone else's. Make Azure the superior.
That makes sense. I think they've got they've a crack team behind them across every division. You bolster that.
The amount of talented people at Xbox is frightening, and they're being hindered every way because their boss has a boss who has a boss, and they have the weight of a $3 trillion company on their back, demanding money. You need to make X amount of profit. So if I was CEO of Xbox, no more Twitter at all. I would make them learn the pattern of what makes video game console developers and manufacturers go out of business. We're avoiding that, and we're picking a lane, and I'm following the money. The money, and the money isn't in the hardware. The money is in Game Pass, making that a service that you can get anywhere. I would allow my teams to make the tentpole games, but also allow a small team to sort of rotate out of the big development and make their passion projects. I would try to create harbor a creative sort of mindset within the teams by having things like weekend game jams or like an annual game jam. I would make a big deal of it. I would stream it, and I would do everything. I would engage the audience, but not through these parasocial relationships that
like Twitter
Phil
DMs,
Spencer's created and Asha Sharma is continuing on. That's weird. It's just weird.
It's weird and fake, realistically. It's like I get where you're coming from. Like I think if you can bolster the people who are making these failed consoles, like realistically without bashing, they are failing consoles. distribute them in Microsoft in better, more efficient ways. Focus on Game Pass, make Game Pass seamless
Yeah.
across everything, because push it to PC, because that's what Microsoft is effectively at the end of the day.
It is PC.
Yeah, you're a PC engine.
I mean, PlayStation 5 is a PC. A Switch is a PC.
And push your gaming developers.
Yeah,
Let your gaming
push them,
developers,
allow them to make things. Just allow them to make games on whatever game they want. If the game isn't great, who cares? It's in a streaming service. Do you know what I mean? I mean, like, how many movies can Netflix make that are 2 out of 10s? But it doesn't matter, because it's content to keep subscribers.
They can churn a movie out They can churn a movie out every month for a year.
Yeah.
And 2 would be good.
Follow the money. Follow the money. If there's no money in Game Pass, without the hardware tying you down, drop it and just become a third-party publisher. It worked brilliantly for Sega. Look at Sega in 2026 and where they were in 2002. 2002, they were an ailing company who had to panic port Dreamcast games to Xbox, GameCube, PlayStation 2. And now they own Football Manager, which is the most successful management sim on the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? I would learn from Sega. I think Sega is the template here. There's just too many parallels between Microsoft in 2026 and Sega in 2002. There's just too many parallels. And I think Sega are the only company, the games company in my memory, maybe I'm wrong, that have been in a situation and lived to tell the story of the situation.
Exactly.
That's what I would do.
It's learn from history before you're doomed to repeat it. Exactly. Yeah. It's a weird thing that we find ourselves in, but
hardware's gone if I'm CEO. There's no money in it.
Yeah, fair. Makes sense.
And that's what I would do.
That's scary. It's a scary realization, but you're 100% correct. I think they've shown that the Ally doesn't work. They've shown that they can put a translucent plate on your console.
I mean, yeah, well,
to fuel nostalgia, but
innovation. It would be cool if the controller looked like the original.
Yeah, but I think there's a way to make difficult decisions, but there's a way to make difficult decisions that make sense.
Yeah, if you really...
I want Xbox to do well. I just think that the way they go about it just baffles me.
I just don't see a way in which they can. They need to have a strategy, and they don't appear to have one at all. You had Asha Sharma a couple of days ago talking about how she doesn't believe games players are going to go out and spend a gratuitous amount of money on the most powerful games console ever made, and that they have to look at other avenues. And that to me sounds like the next Xbox console, if one even comes out, is going to be either a low powered thing designed for streaming, or like a PlayStation Portal that has only streaming. Is what it sounds like to me. They don't have a strategy, as far as I can tell. If I was CEO, dropping hardware, stop the parasocial relationships on the internet, learn from history. Let's follow Sega, follow the money, and become either a third-party publisher or push Game Pass, where we are now a subscription service provider.
Definitely need to stop having their gaming podcast platform vet their graphics.
Yeah.
As well.
I think if Xbox for some reason just went, you know what, Luvva's right, hardware's no money in it.
Tomorrow, could you imagine Monday morning this episode drops, Monday midday, we're pulling console to
just imagine. Mr. Luvva Luvva is correct. No, but I think if they stop making hardware, the roadblock to Game Pass on PlayStation is removed, and I think Sony would allow Game Pass in some form. And I think the form it would be in on PlayStation is
like a Paramount Plus, like an add-on to it.
I think what Sony would want is Game Pass can exist on our platform, but no third-party games, only Xbox Game Studios games, so not to cannibalize PlayStation sales of those games. Does that make sense?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And I think Nintendo, if they were allowed, if Microsoft got rid of things like party chat and added age restrictions, I think Nintendo would allow
Nintendo would jump
Game
at the bit.
Pass.
No,
I think so.
because Nintendo have a sketchy history of their current hardware not being able to sustain ports of very popular games.
Like
so if there was collaboration and work there,
I think Game Pass as it exists right now, its true home, obviously Xbox consoles, but its true home is PC. And I think if you sold, like, I don't know, Xbox Game Studios Pass on PlayStation that only had Xbox Game Studios games in it, as it is now, day and date, not Call of Duty, not the third party stuff, and sold it for like $7-8.99 a month, that would make bank on PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStationers would jump at that.
Because how many people like us? Because there are dozens who have done the same thing.
Do you know what I mean?
From 360 to PlayStation, never looked back, but still kind of hearken for.
But now we can stream our Gears of War 1, 2, 3, Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach. Do you know what I mean? I think there's
a market there.
Yeah, hit
there's
me up. I
definitely
could be
a
a
market
consultant,
there.
Xbox. But yeah, that's how I see it. That's how I would see it. Drop hardware, become a publisher or a subscription service provider. I think that's the way forward for Xbox.
So let us know at home. Did we save Xbox? Comment yes or yes.
I think we have. Also, just when you're typing if we've saved it or not, what would you do to save Xbox? What's saving the Xbox? Tell us in the comments below. And while you're typing that, me and Tom are going to whisk you away to the wrap-up section. That is it, Tomahawk. Another episode all wrapped up and a console manufacturer saved. I love this job.
I mean, we've talked for 77 minutes there about Xbox. My head hurts. We've talked about Xbox for the longest time ever. My head hasn't spun this much since I had Hook on the show, and he had, like, I could see his vein trying not to explode to talk about Halo all the time. So, Hook, this one was for you.
Yes, you're welcome, Hook. But yeah, we've saved Xbox. You're welcome, Xbox fans. We look forward to the kudos in the comments, and also the how would you save it?
High scores, high stakes. A PlayStation podcast. Sometimes we talk Xbox too.
This will probably be the first and last time we ever talk about Xbox in this podcast. We don't get into the console wars. We don't.
Oh no,
we try our best to avoid it. We really
made a point of that 3.5 years ago now. It's like, what's the point? Console wars. Like I pride myself on the fact that we've been recommended to others because we've done console war.
Yeah.
We know a lane, we stick a lane, but I think this, you said yourself, this kind of needs to be talked about. And it's like, I think we've done it in a tasteful way. I think we've done it in a way that isn't, oh, they're bad and they should feel bad and PlayStation's the true console. Like, no, I think we've presented the facts. We've just thrown our 2 cents in.
Yeah. I mean, let's be honest here, right? In any society, open market, free market society, the only thing that helps keep prices down and quality up for customers is healthy competition. And I don't know if Sony or Xbox really view Nintendo as competition. I think they really view each other as each other's competition, and I think Xbox, where it is now, could, if they disappear tomorrow completely, could really bring back the arrogant PlayStation that we saw in the PlayStation 3 launch. I really do believe that. I think Xbox, whilst they've pushed Sony at certain times in history, they really have. But I think, for a healthy games industry, we need Microsoft at least keeping these game studios open and making games. Like, that's what we need. And what we also need, Tom, is to do the housekeeping. So let's do
Yes.
that now. Okay. So if you're listening to this on a podcast platform and you haven't yet give us a rating, please do that now. 1 star to 5, whatever you think we're worth, that's what we get. If you want to give us a written review, that's even better because that feeds the algorithm and tells wherever you're listening to this that more people should. If you want to support us, the easiest, best way of doing that is just hitting that share button and sending this episode or another episode to somebody, a friend, a family member who you think will like High Scores, High Stakes. And if 1 hour-ish of apparently Xbox talk isn't enough to fill your week, then head over to highscoreshighstakes.com and there you'll find every episode we've ever did in video format and little mini reviews of every challenge game we have ever played. That site is being revamped at some point. When things get back to normal, I will get round to it, I promise. But yeah, if all else, I have nothing left to say about Xbox Tomahawk. Do you?
No, not for at least another 160 odd episodes.
Or something absolutely monumental happens, then we'll jump onto your stream and talk about it.
Definitely, yes.
But in lieu of something monumental happening in gaming, I have nothing left to say except I've been Mr. Luvva. This has been High Scores, High Stakes. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Monday. Love you. Bye.